You ever sit there and wonder why they all think they've got you figured out? Like you're some open book with pages they can flip through at their leisure, like they can skim through your pain, analyze your scars, and walk away with a neat little summary of who you are. Makes you sick, doesn't it? The way they act like they know you, like they can predict your next move, like you're some puppet on a string they've been pulling all along. But here's the fun part, let them think that. Let them believe they're one step ahead. Let them play their little mind games. Let them feel comfortable, safe, like they've won. That's when they get careless. That's when they slip. That's when the tables turn. See, people, they have this twisted little need to be in control. They walk around puffed up like kings and queens, thinking they're the ones who decide who rises and who falls, who gets to win and who gets left in the dirt. But control, it's a fragile little thing, isn't it? The second they think they have it, the second they start to settle into their false sense of security, that's when you shatter it. That's when you show them the cracks they didn't even know were there. And oh, how they'll scramble, how they'll flail, how they'll beg, because the thing about people is they're terrified of losing the grip they thought they had. They're weak, predictable, just waiting to be undone. You ever notice how people only value what they have to fight for? Give them something for free, and they toss it aside like it was never worth anything to begin with. That's the biggest joke of all, isn't it? They don't care about what's in front of them. They care about what's slipping through their fingers. So what do? You make sure they can't have you. You make sure they feel that loss like a phantom limb, like an ache that never quite goes away. You let them sit in the mess they made. Let them drown in the absence of you. And when they finally come crawling back, when they finally realize what they threw away, you're not there anymore. You're gone. You don't give them another chance to sink their claws in, to drain you dry, to feed off your kindness like parasites. You leave them starving. It's funny, really, the way they look at you when they realize you're not who they thought you were. They expect you to be soft, to be kind, to be forgiving. Because that's what makes their world make sense. That's what keeps them comfortable, keeps them in power. But the moment you stop being predictable, the moment you stop playing along, that's when the fear sets in. That's when they start to sweat. That's when they realize they never really knew you at all. And that's real power. You ever notice how silence makes people nervous? How they'll do anything to fill the empty space? People can handle screaming, they can handle rage, they can handle tears. But silence, silence makes them squirm. Because silence means you're thinking. Silence means you're calculating. Silence means you see right through them, and there's not a damn thing they can do about it. They'll poke, they'll prod, they'll try to get a reaction out of you just to prove to themselves that they still have control. But you don't give them that satisfaction. You sit there calm, unreadable, untouchable, and that drives them insane. You think you owe them an explanation? You think you owe them closure? No, you don't. You don't owe them a damn thing. They made their choices, didn't they? They knew exactly what they were doing when they lied, when they left, when they used you up and walked away without a second thought. And now they want back in, now they want to talk. Now they want to pretend like none of it happened. But that's not how this works. That door, it's closed, locked, burned to the ground. There is no coming back from that. There is no fixing what they broke. They get to live with that. They get to sit in the silence and wonder what they did wrong. And you get to walk away without ever looking back. The thing about people is they never expect consequences. They think they can do whatever they want, take whatever they want, hurt whoever they want, and nothing will ever come of it. But consequences? Oh, they come. Sometimes slow, creeping in like a shadow they didn't notice until it was too late. Sometimes fast, a slap across the face they never saw coming. But one way or another, they come. And when they do, oh, how they'll wish they'd done things differently. But by then, it won't matter. By then, they'll have to sit in the wreckage of their own making. And you won't be anywhere near it. See, they want you to believe that being kind means being weak, that if you let go of the anger, you lose. But real strength is in knowing you don't have to prove a damn thing to anyone. Real strength is in walking away while they're still trying to figure out what happened. Real strength is in knowing that their regret is their problem, not yours. And trust me, regret, it eats people alive. It festers. It gnaws at them in the quiet moments, in the dead of night, in the spaces where their thoughts get too loud. And the best part, you don't have to do a damn thing. You just exist. You just thrive. You just become everything they swore you never would be. And that's the real revenge. You ever notice how people only respect what they can't have? They don't value loyalty until it's gone. They don't appreciate kindness until it turns to indifference. They don't fear losing you until you're already out the door. But by then, it's too late. And the best part, you don't have to say a word. You don't have to explain. You don't have to justify. You don't have to scream your worth to people who never deserved you in the first place. You just leave. And they get to wonder for the rest of their lives whether they made the biggest mistake of all. Because they did. They'll deny it at first, tell themselves it's fine, that losing you wasn't a big deal, that they'll find someone else, something else, anything else to fill the void. And for a while, maybe they will. Maybe they'll distract themselves, drown in their vices, surround themselves with noise so they don't have to sit in the silence. Because silence, it's their worst nightmare. Silence means reflection. Silence means facing the truth. And the truth is, they lost something they'll never get back. And then the cracks start to show. The distractions don't work like they used to. The laughter feels hollow. The nights get longer. And somewhere between the cheap thrills and empty conversations, it hits them that ache, that weight, that gnawing realization that you were the best thing they ever had. And now they can't reach you. Now you're just a ghost, a shadow, a name they whisper to themselves when the regret gets too loud. But that's not your problem, is it? No, you don't carry that weight anymore. You don't lose sleep over people who never hesitated to hurt you. You don't sit around waiting for an apology that's never coming. You don't let them back in just because they finally realized what they lost. Because by the time they see the truth, you've already moved on. You've already built something new, something better, something they were never meant to be a part of. See, people think pain is what breaks you. They think betrayal, loss, loneliness, that's what ruins a person. But no. Pain, it sharpens you. It strips away the illusions, burns off the weakness, leaves only the strongest parts of you behind. They thought they could break you, but all they did was forge something stronger. And now you're untouchable. Now their words don't sting, their absence doesn't ache, their name doesn't carry weight. That's the real power, isn't it? Not revenge, not getting even, just existing beyond them, thriving in ways they never imagined, living a life so full, so untouchable, that they become nothing more than a lesson. A reminder of what you'll never tolerate again. You ever notice how people who leave always come back? Not because they miss you. No. Because they miss what you gave them. They miss the security, the validation, the warmth they never once appreciated when they had it. And when they see you glowing, when they see you standing tall without them, when they realize they were never as necessary as they thought they were, oh, that's when the panic sets in. That's when they start reaching out, throwing little breadcrumbs, hoping you'll bite. A message, a how have you been, a memory sent at just the right time, just the right way, so they can weasel their way back in. But you don't bite. You don't play their game, because you already won the moment you stopped caring. And that is what terrifies them the most. Because the thing about people like them, they never expected you to rise. They never thought you'd be strong enough to walk away, to close the door without hesitation, to leave them drowning in the mess they made. And when they finally realize you were never as weak as they believed, that's when the fear kicks in. Because people don't fear losing what they take for granted. They fear losing what they can never get back. And you were the best thing they never deserved. And that's the punchline, isn't it? They never thought they'd lose you, not really. They thought they could push, pull, disappear, return, take, and you'd still be there. Like a fool, like a pawn in their game. Like someone who didn't know their own worth. But now they see the truth, and oh, how it burns. Because you're not the fool they mistook you for. You were never weak, just patient, too understanding, too willing to believe in second chances, in apologies that never came, in love that was never real. But patience has an expiration date, and yours ran out. And now they have to live with the consequences. That's the thing about people. They don't regret losing you. They regret that you don't care that they lost you. And that's the part that keeps them up at night. The part that makes them replay every moment, every word, every time they thought they had the upper hand. Because deep down they know. They know you were real. They know you meant every word, every gesture, every ounce of effort you poured into them. And they threw it away like it was nothing. And now they have to sit with that. People say time heals all wounds, but some wounds don't heal. Some wounds fester. Some wounds become ghosts that whisper in the dark, reminders of what could have been, what should have been, what they'll never have again. And that's what you've become to Thema Ghost. Not a haunting, not some vengeful shadow lurking in the corners of their mind. Number, you are something far worse. You are the proof that they made the wrong choice. You are the question that will never have an answer. You are the name they won't say out loud, the thought they'll push away, the regret they'll drown in. And you'll be too busy living to notice. That's the real irony, isn't it? They thought they were the main character in your story, thought they were the ones who got to decide when it ended, how it played out, what role you got to have. But they were never the main character. Hell, they were barely a subplot, just a passing moment, just another page in a book they'll never get to finish. Because that's the difference between you and them. They needed you. But you never needed them. Not really. Not once you woke up. Not once you saw the truth. Not once you realized that everything you were looking for in them, you could find in yourself. And that's the real tragedy. Not yours. Theirs. Because they'll never find another you. They'll search. Oh, they'll search. They'll chase after ghosts, after people who remind them of you, who carry pieces of what they lost. But it won't be the same. It will never be the same. Because no one will give them what you gave them. No one will see them the way you saw them. No one will tolerate their games, their lies, their hollow apologies the way you once did. They will spend a lifetime trying to replace what they lost. And you will have already moved on. Because the thing about losing someone like you, it's permanent. And that permanence, that's what scares them the most. Because for the first time in their life, they're realizing there are some things you can't undo, some doors that don't reopen, some mistakes that don't get forgiven. They'll tell themselves otherwise, of course. Convince themselves it's just a phase, that you're still angry, that time will soften you, that one day you'll look back and laugh and let them back in. Because that's how it's always worked before, hasn't it? People leave, they return, they break, they fix, they lie, they apologize, they take until there's nothing left. And even then, they still have the audacity to ask for more. But you're not playing that game anymore. And oh, how it shakes them. Because they don't just miss you, they miss control. They miss the version of you that would have picked up the phone. The version that would have swallowed the pain, nodded, smiled, Let them walk all over you just to keep the peace. But that version of you is dead, buried, forgotten. And in its place, something unrecognizable, something untouchable, something terrifying. Because nothing unsettles a person more than realizing they hold no power over you anymore. That they could scream, beg, cry, throw a tantrum, and it would do nothing. You won't flinch. You won't react. You won't care. And that will eat them alive. They'll try, of course. Try to pull you back in. Try to remind you of the good times, the laughs, the inside jokes, the late night conversations where it felt like the world was just the two of you. Try to pretend none of the bad ever happened. Try to rewrite history, repaint the past in softer colors so you forget the blood stains underneath. But you won't, because you remember everything. Every lie, every broken promise, every time you sat there, swallowing your pain just to make them comfortable. And now it's their turn to sit with the silence. Because you have nothing left to say. That's what gets them in the end. Not the anger, not the distance, not even the loss. The silence. Because silence isn't empty. It's full of everything they don't want to face, everything they don't want to acknowledge. Their guilt, their mistakes, their regrets. And the longer that silence stretches, the louder it gets. Until it drowns them. And you'll just be walking away head high, not once looking back. 'Cause that's the thing about power, real power. It isn't about revenge. It isn't about proving them wrong. It isn't about making them suffer, even if you know they deserve it. It's about being free. Free from the need to explain yourself. Free from the weight of their betrayal. Free from the illusion that they ever mattered as much as you once believed. Because now you see them for what they are. Small, powerless, insignificant. And you are everything they'll never be. And that is what keeps them up at night. Not the memories, not the past, not even the loss itself. No, what truly eats them alive is knowing they never mattered as much as they thought they did. Because they told themselves a lie, didn't they? That they were irreplaceable, that you would never find someone better. That no matter what they did, no matter how they twisted the knife, you would always be there, always waiting, always hoping. But the truth is far worse than they imagined. You didn't just move on, you evolved. You didn't just heal, you thrived. And now they are nothing more than a whisper in a world that has long since outgrown them. Because that's what happens when people take you for granted. One day, they look up, expecting to find you in the same place they left you, only to realize you're gone. And not just physically. No, that would be too easy. You're gone in the way that matters. Gone in the way that makes their stomach sink, their throat tighten, their hands shake. Gone in the way that tells them, without a shadow of a doubt, that they will never get you back. And the worst part, it was their own doing. They destroyed the bridge. They burned the foundation. They made the choice again and again to treat you like an afterthought. And now they get to sit in the ruins and wonder how they never saw the collapse coming. Because you did. You saw the cracks forming long before they did. You felt the weight of their betrayal before they even thought twice about it. You knew deep down, in a place you tried to ignore, that they were never going to be who you needed them to be. And now the only difference is you've accepted it. You've let go of the illusion. You've stopped waiting for the apology that will never come. You've stopped looking for closure in places that only ever left you with more questions. And that is what separates you from them. They still need closure. They still need validation. They still need proof that they mattered. But you don't need anything from them. Not their guilt, not their regret, not their empty words or shallow attempts to claw their way back into your life. They had their chance, and they lost. Now, they're the ones left waiting, the ones replaying every moment, the ones staring at the ceiling in the dead of night, wondering if maybe just there was a version of this story where they didn't screw it all up. But it doesn't matter anymore. Because this is the ending they chose. And you've already turned the page. And that's it, isn't it? The final nail in the coffin, the thing they never saw coming. Not a grand explosion. Not some dramatic confrontation where you scream at them, cry, beg for answers they were never capable of giving. No, nothing so theatrical. Just silence. Just absence. Just the slow, suffocating realization that they gambled with something they never thought they could lose and lost it forever. They'll live with that, long after you've forgotten their name, long after their face becomes a blur in the background of a life so much bigger. They will still carry it, the weight of their own choices, the knowledge that they ruined something good. And you'll be too far ahead to even notice. Because that's the real ending, the one they never expected. Not revenge, not hate, just indifference. And there's nothing they fear more